Wouldn't it be grand to live in a perfect world where everyone had complete access to healthcare and had as many detailed appointments as necessary to keep them on their way? Of course, those appointments would be with experts that were free from bias and completely infallible in their application of science and their knowledge. Unfortunately, we do not live in such a utopia, so millions of people have to turn to online searches or WebMD and other websites to get information regarding the status of their health. This behavior of seeking out information and figuring out what could be wrong with oneself is generally referred to as self-diagnosis. Millions of people are out there seeking answers to their health problems every day. So perhaps this is a topic that we should discuss rather than ridicule the usage of. Negative reinforcement to try and get someone away from a behavior only works in certain cases, and it won't work in this discussion. So perhaps we should know the research into self-diagnosis, as well as why someone might do so. A 2015 study titled Evaluation of Symptom Checkers for Self-Diagnosis and Triage examined why we might use such tools when we either lack funds or cannot get immediate care for non-critical ailments. Out of the 23 symptom checkers that they looked at, they had a very low accuracy of providing the correct diagnosis within the top 20 search results. They concluded that while these sources were no substitute for proper medical advice, the recommended actions tended to be free from risk and reasonable for the patient's self-care. In 2010, a thematic review was published looking at all research regarding self-diagnosis. They found that within 39 published studies, 31% found self-diagnosis to be reliable and desirable. 23% found it to be unreliable, but patients still sought out information regarding their health. 28% of those studies found it to be neither desirable nor reliable. The rest gave self-diagnosis mixed reviews, some even saying that it was reliable but not desirable. Essentially, with the research, it's a mixed bag, mainly because it really depends on what the patient is using that research for, how they're applying it, and how they understood it. Allowing patients to take control of their own health allows adequately informed individuals to sidestep practitioner bias and unethical cases when they may arise. It gives one the know-how to practice adequate self-care when you are attempting to find a doctor that can help you find the correct diagnosis. Not every doctor gets to the root of the problem, and many of them will simply treat your symptoms. It can provide financial relief to patients that are unable to afford proper treatment for any number of reasons. Until telemedicine becomes more prevalent throughout our societies, then self-diagnosis is really the next best thing. Essentially, there are many reasons why we shouldn't just judge someone for having to turn to the internet to figure out what might be going on in their life. Of course, there are legitimate reasons to be concerned for someone using the internet to figure out what might be wrong with their health. There are many crooked people with MD after their name that are selling snake oil, not science. If we are really concerned about the disinformation out there, then we should be teaching people how to find the right sources or the right way to go about research, rather than chastising them for even attempting it. Whining about people on Tumblr using self-diagnosis won't fix the problem of authority figures using their agenda to assert their opinions rather than gather evidence and find a trend. If you are really concerned for those people that are self-diagnosing, then you should be talking to them. You should be learning about them. You should figure out who they are, what they know. Help them. If you think it's not your job, then it shouldn't be your job to judge them either. One of them is easier than the other, but they both still have impacts on other people's lives. In fact, shaming other people could actually increase the incidence of cyberchondria out there. Cyberchondria is defined as the excessive use of internet health sites to fuel anxieties. It does exist, but not to the extent that many people on the internet complain about. After all, they've actually lived with their symptoms and know a little bit more about what they're talking about, while someone that's doing the judging wouldn't know that person from Adam. To be honest, seeing a doctor, therapist, or whatever isn't a one-way street. There has to be mutual communication, and that research only bolsters the conversation that you could have with your doctor. As for myself, where I stand in all this, I have self-diagnosed in the past, so that I would have my thoughts properly organized for brief doctor visits. When I was mistaken in what I thought, the doctor would talk to me about it, and it would become clear why their conclusion was more sound than mine. Ultimately, what one finds online should be taken with a grain of salt. It should be used to spark a discussion. We shouldn't be telling the doctor what they should think, and they shouldn't be telling us how it will be. That's just my 2 cents. Please stay safe, and know that you are incredible, my witchlings. And until next time, bye.